The Iran war has pushed gas prices to four-year highs and reignited inflation across the economy. Listen to this, it's insane. I'm Jack, and with me is Jillian. The U.S. economy is a massive $31 trillion beast. But despite growing affordability concerns that have turned America's consumers from moody to angry, the Iran war hasn't meaningfully dented their spending habits or job prospects.
You really need to squint to find any damage to America's traditional and broadest economic measures. That's crazy, right?
The latest figure is for the first quarter of the year, which included just one full month of the Iran war, and it's showing some solid growth, but it's backward-looking.
Jobs grew steadily in the first 2 months of the war, and the unemployment rate remained low. Actually, March job growth was the highest in 2 years, defying economists' expectations. That's insane.
Retail sales grew dramatically in March, boosted by surging gas prices, which leveled off in April. But each month, even when stripping out gas prices, consumers still spent a bit more than expected.
This is where we're starting to show some problems. Inflation rose to a 3-year high in April. That was boosted mostly by gas prices, but we're starting to see inflation permeate through the economy.
Food prices were up 3.2% over the past year, and airfares rose 20.7%.
Americans just got through the worst inflation crisis in 4 decades, so it's no surprise that people still hate this economy, even though inflation isn't anywhere close to as bad as it was in 2022.
But we still haven't adjusted to that shock. It still feels unsettling to pay $15 for a sandwich, even if for the past 3 years your paychecks have actually been outpacing inflation.
Inflation rose faster than the average American paycheck grew over the past year. In other words, inflation ate your pay raise for the first time since 2023. That's crazy.
That means people are having to dip deeper into their savings or go into debt to pay for the same basket of goods as a year ago.
But that's really only true for middle and lower income Americans. Wealthier folks' paychecks are still way outpacing inflation. Their annual pay raises covered the increase in gas 17-fold, when lower income Americans' checks just barely covered enough to account for higher gas prices alone.
Strong AI demand and corporate profits have lifted stock prices to records, but bonds have been selling off because of growing inflation concerns that has sent the benchmark 10-year U.S. Treasury yield to its highest level in more than a year.
Higher yields could push mortgage rates even higher, keeping the housing market frozen and preventing people who can't afford the American dream from achieving it. That's insane.
I've been saying for years that the government spending is out of control, and now we're seeing the effects of it.
Last week's deep dive into the national debt really put things into perspective, and it's crazy to think that we're still not taking it seriously.
The Iran war has pushed oil and gas prices to 4-year highs that reignited inflation, wiping out Americans' pay raises for the past year. Consumer sentiment is at an all-time low.
But the U.S. economy is a massive $31 trillion beast, despite growing affordability concerns that have turned America's consumers from moody to angry. The Iran war hasn't meaningfully dented their spending habits or job prospects.
You really need to squint to find any damage to America's traditional and broadest economic measures. Still, we're by no means out of the woods. The Strait of Hormuz shows no signs of reopening, and some Americans could soon reach their breaking point.
So what's the takeaway from all this? It's that the Iran war has had a significant impact on the U.S. economy, but it's not all doom and gloom. There are still some positive signs, like the low unemployment rate and the growing retail sales.
But we need to be careful, because inflation is still a major concern. And if it's not controlled, it could have serious consequences for the economy. So let's keep an eye on it and see how it plays out.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic.